में ना पढ़ाई और करियर को कोई इतना इम्पोर्टेंस देता नहीं है। पहले 10th करो, फिर 12th करो, फिर ग्रेजुएशन करो, फिर मास्टर्स करो, फिर और पढ़ना हो तो PhD करो, तब जाके लगती है नौकरी। मुझे हमेशा से इस भीड़ का हिस्सा बनना नहीं था। मेरी फाइनेंशियल बैकग्राउंड और मेरी फैमिली की फाइनेंशियल कंडीशन मुझे इसकी इजाज़त नहीं देती है। मुझे हमेशा से कुछ हट के ही करना था। मुझे हमेशा से पहले से ही अर्निंग के बारे में सोचता रहता था मैं। इसके लिए मैंने बहुत सी चीज़ें ट्राई की, डिजिटल मार्केटिंग, SMMA, फोटोशॉप, वर्डप्रेस डेवलपमेंट, लेकिन मुझे इन सब पे उतना मज़ा आया नहीं।
तू बॉम्ब प्लान करके जल्दी से कवर पे चले जा और हेडलेस जाना है, ओके? जीजी's गाइस, सी यू नेक्स्ट टाइम। गेमिंग ना मेरा पैशन ही नहीं, मेरी पूरी आइडेंटिटी है। बचपन से बहुत गेम खेलती थी मैं। ऑल नाइटर विद फ्रेंड्स, टूर्नामेंट्स, कास्टिंग, सब कुछ ट्राई कर लिया है। 48 आवर्स स्ट्रेट बिना खाए पिए, बिना सोए। आई ग्राइंडेड डे एंड नाइट एंड लुक वेयर इट टुक मी। I became the world's first female Apex Legends Predator player.
I won't call India a sea of talent, but to me, India is an ocean of talent. My grandfather and his brothers migrated to India after the partition. They came to India with nothing more than a set of clothes. और उनमें बहुत strong desire और belief था कि ये देश हमने बनाना है. Hi, I am Akshay Munjal, CEO and founder of Vired. Hero Group started off in 1956 with a simple thought: how do I solve the big problems for India? In 56, there was a huge shortage of mobility, and that was the birth of Hero Cycle. Over the many decades, Hero Group has always focused on solving the big problem. In 2014, as a family, we set up DML Munjal University as a tribute to my grandfather. वो हमेशा यही कहते थे, जिनको एजुकेशन नहीं मिली वो ही उसकी कीमत जानते हैं. Everybody else takes it for granted. And he always said, मेरे को जो भी मेरी लाइफ में मिला है वो बेसिक इंजीनियरिंग स्किल्स, मैनेजमेंट एंड कीपिंग गुड वैल्यूज के मिला है. And at Hero Wired, we are trying to solve the problem of skills. And with that belief is what we started Hero Wired. You know, country like India is very large. We have the youngest young population in the world. This is our biggest blessing. If we use it well, there is no stopping India from becoming the biggest economy in the world.
बचपन में हीरो की साइकिल से स्कूल जाना और हीरो की बाइक से फिर कॉलेज जाना, तो कहीं ना कहीं जब ज़िंदगी की गाड़ी चलाने की बात आई तो ये सेफ साथी लगा. जब ये सब ट्राई करने के बाद मुझे मज़ा नहीं आया तो मैंने वेब डेवलपमेंट की तरफ जाने का फ़ैसला किया और उसमें देखा मैंने कि कोर्स क्या होता है, कैसे फुल स्टैक डेवलपमेंट साइकिल वर्क करती है. और जाहिर सी बात है, इन सब रिसर्च के बाद मेरे दिमाग में ढेर सारे सवाल आए. तो मैंने बहुत सारे सवाल पूछे और ढेर सारे लोगों से पूछे, मगर जब हीरो वायर्ड के बारे में पता चला तो कहीं ना कहीं एक इंस्टेंट कनेक्शन हो गया.
कोविड के टाइम मैंने दिन रात सिर्फ गेमिंग ही करी है. In fact, that is when I realized that this is what I want to pursue even professionally. I wanted to dive deeper into the world of gaming and study it. पर schools and colleges में gaming कोई पढ़ाता है? In fact, I didn't even know that such a course exists in the first place. They had this amazing upskilling program in gaming. And that's when I thought to myself, is it possible? Can I implement my masters in data science into the field of gaming? You know, get the best of both worlds.
The EdTech revolution has indeed transformed the entire educational ecosystem in this country. It has indeed democratized the whole education, where the learners have control on what they want to learn, when they want to learn, where they want to learn. Over the last 5 years, the EdTech sector has really bloomed, particularly during the pandemic period. Many of them reaped the benefits of online and technology-driven education. However, many of them could not keep pace in post-COVID era and some fell aside. But many of them are pivoting and try to finalize new emerging possibilities.
In a country like India, it is strongly ingrained that education is my ticket to a better life. No matter who you look at, चाहे वो afford कर सकते हैं या नहीं, people end up pledging their houses just to make sure the children get good quality education. I see many young people struggling, even after getting good degrees, to get decent jobs. And that is something which we want to solve. अगर ये problem solve नहीं करी, जो इंडिया का demographic dividend we talk about will become the biggest demographic nightmare we have. What keeps me excited is, अगर इस large population को, if we train them well, get them effective, there is nothing stopping India from becoming the biggest economy in the world. And with that belief, we started Hero Vired. Vired is a combination of two words, virtual education. अब मैं स्कूल में चले गया, मैंने कॉलेज कर लिया, उसके बाद भी आई एम नॉट गेटिंग अ गुड जॉब, और आई एम ऑलरेडी इन अ जॉब बट आई वांट टू अपस्किल और आई वांट टू गेट अ बेटर जॉब. Where do I go to get that training? And moment you deliver that quality of education, and with inherent the desire Indians have, or the keenness or the willingness to work hard, we think there is no stopping India from taking the rightful place in the world. You know, when you are young, people go to school, college. After you graduate, then what? How often do people come back into upskilling and skilling after they've completed their undergrad or post-graduation? And more, this will become a big gap. The way technology is changing, the way the world is evolving, people will continuously need to be upskilled and reskilled. And to solve for that, at Hero Vired, we hired the best industry practitioners who could deliver skills which are needed by industry and which are not just needed today, but are needed for the next 5 or 10 years. And that was really the genesis of Hero Vired.
Talking about the gaming sector, it is one of the sectors which is a sunrise sector in India today. It has been, growing at an exponential speed. If we talk about the revenue of the industry, more than $2.5 billion, and it is expected that it will double to more than $5 billion in the coming 2 to 3 years by 2025. If we talk about, the Commonwealth Esports Championship, it is again a testimony of how much credibility it has lent to the sector as a competitive sport. And with India getting the bronze medal in that, it has just, helped India boost its global gaming rankings from that perspective. We created an entire curriculum so that we could, fuel the passion of these gamers and skill them so that they can channelize this passion.
When we talk about future tech as a domain, it's a combination of two things, future-ready skills and the emerging technologies. If you talk about future-ready skills, the way and the pace at which the skill set is evolving, from a learner perspective, you need to be ready now. Whether you're talking about the future, but it is now that you need to upskill yourself. When we talk about emerging technologies, whether you talk about game design and AR, VR or UI, UX, there are several emerging technologies where we need to move at pace. At Hero Vired, what we have done, the objective was to partner with the industry leaders, or not even in India but globally. So if you talk about the gaming program, we are tied up with the Nodwin. If you talk about an AR, VR, we have tied up with a Snapchat.
This course changed my life. उस दिन मेरे को ये जान के बहुत खुशी हुई कि even in India, people don't consider gaming as just a bad habit anymore. It's much more than that.
How do you know a mission is successful? How do we decide the parameters which define the success of a mission? It is through the impact it creates. And this is how, and this is what a teacher needs to think about continuously, how and why and how exactly they are making this impact. And probably this is not that easy to measure, but sometimes it becomes evident. How exactly your students are transforming, how exactly they are thinking. They are known, the impact, the extent of this impact is not known by the answers your students start to provide in the classroom, but the kind of questions they're asking in the classroom and beyond the classroom. And that is when a teacher knows that their job to create an impact is somewhat achieved.
और क्या, जब तक करोगे नहीं तब तक पता कैसे चलेगा? रिस्क नहीं लोगे तो कैसे तुमको पता चलेगा?
और अभी एक स्टेप बढ़ाओगे फिर आगे स्टेप तुम्हारी आती स्टार्ट हो जाएंगी भाई.
अबे इतना टेंशन मत.
मेरे फ्रेंड्स, मेरे फैमिली मेम्बर्स, उन्होंने भी मुझे फुल सपोर्ट किया एंड देन मैंने हीरो वाइड कोर्स ज्वाइन किया. फुल स्टैक डेवलपमेंट का मेरा सेकंड बैच था. मैंने लिटरली बता रहा हूँ कि कोर्स में मुझे इंतज़ार होने लगा कि कब क्लासेस स्टार्ट होंगे। मेरे फ्रेंड्स बने उस क्लास में एंड अलग अलग सिटीज़ से। कभी भी ऐसा नहीं लगा कि लाइव इंटरेक्शन या इंटरेक्शन में कोई कमी है। लाइव तुरंत आना, टाइम पे क्लासेस होना, इतना एक्साइटेड मैं किसी क्लास को लेके लाइफ में फ़र्स्ट टाइम हूँ। हाउ टू नर्चर योर पर्सनैलिटी, हाउ टू वर्क, हाउ टू फोकस ऑन योर वर्क, वो 8 घंटे आपको क्या करना ज़रूरी है, दीज ऑल थिंग्स आर टॉट बाई हीरो वायर्ड टू मी। उन्होंने हर चीज़ सिखाई मुझे कि अपने आप को कैसे डेवलप करते हैं, नॉट जस्ट कोडिंग पार्ट, डेवलपमेंट ऑल्सो इन द कोर्स एज वेल इन द इंटर्नशिप। कोर्स में एक और चीज़ पे बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस करते हैं कि कोडिंग करते हुए सोचना क्या होता है, नॉट जस्ट राइट लेट वेयर कॉन्स्ट, वाई राइट वेयर लेट कॉन्स्ट, दैट इज़ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट। उस पर बहुत फोकस किया गया था एंड उससे मेरा बेसिक पूरा क्लियर था।
Many EdTech companies have brought international education to the country. Through the mechanism of online education, co-created curriculum, Indian students now have an opportunity to study from best of the international organizations without having to leave the shore of India, thereby reducing the cost and other visa-related issues. So indeed, it's a boon for Indian students, particularly those in the professional field.
One day when I was driving back from Saket, there were posters put all over the district court, Saket district court, which said wanted graduate engineers to drive luxury cars. And that to me, I took it very personally. By then, I had already spent 12-13 years in education. Still, after going through education or after going through higher education, are needed as drivers or delivery boys. I think somewhere as a society we are failing. And that is where the birth of Hero Vired came in. I read a very interesting book called Future of Industries, which is nearly 10 years old now. And the author talks about that most jobs in the middle will collapse, which really means either you'll have jobs which are very high-end or jobs at the bottom which are extremely manual, like a sweeper, barber, whatnot. Everything else in the middle will get taken over by AI. In a world like that, where today a large part of people's jobs would be questioned, it's very important that how do you ride the wave and how do you become a part of the change rather than resisting the change.
मैंने फिर प्रिपेयर किया बहुत अच्छे से, मैंने इंटरव्यू दिया, फिर बहुत अच्छा हुआ इंटरव्यू, 1-2 और इंटरव्यूज़ हुए एंड देन आई एम सेलेक्टेड। मुझे ऑफर मिला हीरो वायर्ड में पढ़ते हुए हीरो वायर्ड के लिए काम करने। द फर्स्ट टाइम कॉर्पोरेट जॉब एज एन इंटर्न, फर्स्ट टाइम कॉर्पोरेट जॉब, बेस्ट थिंग।
हीरो वायर्ड की वजह से आई एम परस्यूइंग बोथ द थिंग्स दैट आई लव साइमल्टेनियसली। अब मुझे इंडिया की बेस्ट गेम डेवलपर बनने से कोई नहीं रोक सकता।
The objective here is to get the best of knowledge, get the best of curriculum to our learners. For us, the priority is very simple: to make our learners future ready, and the time is now.
The camp rule is leaving things in a better position than you found them to be. And I think that's the philosophy and the purpose of life as well, that you leave it in a better place than you found it to be. And no better way to bring about that revolution than by education.
As we set up the company, we are setting up the company to go global, to offer these wide bouquet of programs across the globe so that the maximum people can benefit. For me, profit and loss are important. They are very important to sustain an organization. But वो बड़े words हैं. सबसे important बात है, are we making a difference in our learner's life? And that to me is the most critical thing which I look at every day. Our dream is to light up the path for our learners. Whether you're looking for upskilling, reskilling, you want to enter new domains, our vision is that we want to offer whatever is required by industry, not just today, but for the next 5 to 10 years.
morning. Welcome to EdBanswer.